Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this tutorial on how to do the Ziyarat Ashura for 40 days. We're just going to begin with going over the basic steps first. So let's go through this step by step. So to do this Ziyarat Ashura for 40 days, you will have to start this process on a Wednesday. So you cannot start doing this on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Friday or a Sunday. You have to start this on a Wednesday. So any Wednesday of the week is when you can begin doing this. And the steps are this. So firstly, you want to make your intention, your niyyah. So you would say, for example, Ya Allah, I'm going to do this Ziyarat Ashura for 40 days out of respect for Imam Hussein and to receive a better job, for example. Then you would say, Qurbatan illallah. Once you've said your niyyah, your intention, you want to do 100 times Allahu Akbar. So use a tasbih to keep count and say Allahu Akbar 100 times. Then you would say one la'an and one salam. So this is what you would say. Allahumma al'an awwal al-zalimin zalama haqqa Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa akhira tabi'in lahu ala dhalik. اللهم لعن الإصابة التي جاحدت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وتابعت على قتله اللهم لعنهم جميعا. Once you've said that, then say السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. Once you've said that, now you will recite the Ziyarat Ashura from the beginning up until the start of the la'an, but you will not recite the la'an, you will stop before then. Once you've done that and you've stopped before the la'an, you will get up and you will pray a 2 rakat namaz. This namaz has the intention of a hadiyah or a gift for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So the intention could be like this: 2 rakat namaz hadiyah barai arwah pak Imam Hussein bijami awaram qurbatan illallah Allahu Akbar. Once you've prayed the 2 rakat namaz, you will now do 100 times Allahu Akbar again. Once you've done the 100 times Allahu Akbar, you will now recite the Ziyarat Ashura again from the beginning, and you would stop directly before the la'an. Once you get to the la'an, you want to recite the la'an 100 times. Recite that from beginning to end 100 times. Once you've finished reciting the la'an 100 times, now you will recite the salam 100 times. Once you finish saying the salams 100 times, now you will recite the rest of the Ziyarat Ashura. And when you get to the part which is Allahumma lakal hamdu hamda shakirin, and if you have not memorized this part, and you cannot do this in sujood because you have not memorized it, then you would go directly into prostration before that part, and you would say Shukran lillahi 3 times, and then raise your head and recite the rest of the dua while reading off your book or your copy. And then after you've recited the rest of the ziyarat, you will now pray a 2 rakat namaz with the intention of Salat Ziyarat Ashura. So you can say 2 rakat namaz Ziyarat Ashura bijami awaram qurbatan illallah Allahu Akbar. Pray this prayer exactly like Fajr prayer. And then after that, you will now pay charity for Imam Zaman. So you would use your coins or your notes, and you would pick up one. You would use one coin or one note, and you would place this inside the bowl or the container in front of you. So the niyyah for this, while you're placing it inside that container or that bowl, is Ya Allah, I'm giving this $1 coin for Imam Zaman's prosperity. Qurbatan illallah. At the end of the 40 days, you will take all that money and you would give it to someone who is in need or a charity or something. And then you'll come back on the Thursday and repeat this process. Come back on the Friday, repeat this entire process again, and just continue, keep going until you finish the entire 40 days. So, regarding the laws, you must do this anytime from sunrise to sunset. So you cannot do this directly after Fajr unless the sun has already risen, and you cannot do this after sunset. If at any time you miss a day, or you do this not in the right time, which is sunrise to sunset, then you have to repeat the 40 days again from the beginning. So, that being said, sunrise to sunset is the time you have to do this. And you cannot talk from the moment you start doing this until you finish the entire process. This process will take you approximately 2 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 3 hours. So it's best to stay somewhere secluded so you do not get bothered throughout this. You must also be in a state of wudu the entire time you do this. And if you need to go to the bathroom throughout this process, then you can, but you must immediately return, and you must also have wudu before you do this again. You don't have to restart that process. Just wherever you left off and you went to the bathroom and you come back, just continue from that part you're on. You must also avoid every single sin in the entire 40 days. So it's important to avoid all the sins. So no music, whatever is doubtful, stay away from that too, because you do not know if that's a sin or not. And you must keep this secret. Do not tell anyone you are doing this unless it's unavoidable. For example, the people inside your house. Say you want to do this every single day in your room at 12 o'clock and you don't want your siblings coming into your room to bother you, then tell your parents that you're doing this and then tell them not to let your siblings come into your room, for example. But other than that, do not tell anybody. Cannot tell your friends, cannot tell your colleagues, cannot tell strangers, cannot tell people on the internet. Keep this secret. You must continue and finish the rest of the 40 days. If you receive your hajat before the end of the 40 days, you must still continue and finish all of the 40 days. You cannot stop. You cannot have any food while you're doing this process. So while you're doing this ziyarat, you cannot have any food at all. You can have water if you get really thirsty, but you cannot have tea or drinks. So it's vital that you prepare beforehand and make sure you're not hungry before you do this, because this will take you approximately 2 hours, 2 hours 30 minutes. So yes, be prepared for it. What you'll need is coins or any form of currency. So you can get like 10-cent coins, get 40 of those. You will need a tasbih or a pen and paper. This will be used to keep track of the amount of zikrs you do. You'll also need a glass of water. Keep this beside you just in case you get thirsty throughout this process. You will also need the Ziyarat Ashura dua in front of you, so you can use a printed copy or any book, or even your memory if you've memorized it. You will need to have a comfortable environment to do this in, so somewhere that you will not be bothered, somewhere that you will be comfortable enough that you can be fully focused throughout this process. And that's pretty much the Ziyarat Ashura for 40 days. So yes, inshallah you will receive your hajat, and inshallah you will see the barakah in this. And I bid you all farewell. Jazakallah khairan.